Family Resource Center invite you to join us Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on Bobo 89.1 FM for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting, where we share practical and positive parenting information to support happy, healthy family life. We'll share how to handle day-to-day issues. We'll address common challenges with parenting, such as how to manage misbehavior, supporting our teens through growing up, managing co-parenting dynamics, and how to take care of ourselves and manage our own stressors. Family Resource Center, committed to building people, building families. Tune in Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. on Bobo 89.1 FM. Find us at frc.gov.ky or call us on 949-0006. Submit your questions and concerns regarding parenting to us, and we'll share them on air. Join us Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. for our weekly show called Rethink. The Family Resource Center invite you to join us on Bobo 89.1 FM for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting, where we share practical and positive parenting information to support happy, healthy family life. We'll share how to handle day-to-day issues. We'll address common challenges with parenting, such as how to manage misbehavior, supporting our teens through growing up, managing co-parenting dynamics, and how to take care of ourselves and manage our own stressors. Family Resource Center, committed to building people, building families. Tune in on Bobo 89.1 FM. Find us at frc.gov.ky or call us on 949-0006. Submit your questions and concerns regarding parenting to us, and we'll share them on air. Join us for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting.
Good afternoon, Cayman. You are tuning in to Rethink Parenting, which is the Family Resource Center's radio show on Bobo FM. So my name is Kenzie Wright, and I am with the Family Resource Center. I am a parent facilitator, and this is within the Department of Counseling Services within the Cayman Islands government. And I am joined today with Ms. Valentine Ball. She is a junior associate director. She works within the field of human resources, and she's also a member of the Cayman Islands Society of HR Professionals. So with me today, we will be talking about workplace bullying. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ms. Ball. And I would just like to invite you to share some things about yourself and maybe your professional background before we jump into workplace bullying.
All right. Well, thank you very much for inviting me today. I think this is great, and we need to, talk about workplace bullying. It's a very important topic, and I'm happy that we're doing this today as well. Yesterday was World Mental Health Day, so very important topic this week. So a little bit of background on me. So I've got about 8+ years experience in human resources. I was in London prior to moving to Cayman 4 years ago. And I've been with MUFG for 4 years now, and have been on the board of the Cayman Islands Society, HR Society, for about a year now. This is definitely something that we talk about at work, and it is very important to make everyone aware so that it can be discussed and, having open conversations around it. And it's not something that is a stigma and that we cannot, openly talk about. So I'm really happy to be here today, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot. And for parents that are listening in today, hopefully that will help them in having some guidance and directions.
Thank you so much. And it is our Stood Up Month with the Family Resource Center, which is our anti-bullying campaign. And we really just want to stress that bullying impacts the home, the school, the workplace. So bullying doesn't end after high school, for example. It can travel into so many different aspects of life. And again, as you said, opening up that conversation and speaking about bullying and shining a light on it happens everywhere that you may go and in all the environments you're in, and how we can kind of counteract that bullying and open the conversation. So my first question for you, we'll jump right into it, Ms. Ball, is how can you recognize workplace bullying?
So what workplace bullying is really the idea of a persistent behavior. So something that is repeated, a behavior, an act, something that is not just a one single incident, it is a repeated incident. And what it is, it's that behavior that could really reasonably be regarded as aggressive, intimidating, malicious, and humiliating as well to the recipient. What needs to be understood as well is bullying is not something, that that is done purposefully. But what needs to be understood is that it is something that is unwelcome to the recipient. So it might not be unwelcome for someone else, but if it is something that's unwelcome, uncomfortable for that recipient, then this would be called bullying. And what we need to note here is that, yes, it could be physical, it could be verbal, it could be non-verbal as well. And it can be something that's conducted by an individual to an individual, or also group, where we can talk a lot, especially in high school. It could be social exclusion, so group social exclusions, but it can happen as well in the workplace, and we need to recognize those. It can be also a group against one person. It can be a group against another group as well. So we just need to be careful and recognize those. So what it could be something that is done around avoiding, diverting work to someone else. It could be, deemed as bullying. Openly criticizing work, in front of the whole group. Again, it needs to be done in a way that's, uncomfortable to the recipient. Ignoring someone, it could be something more physical around, banging doors, smashing laptops, things that can happen in the workplace as well. Teasing, generating rumors, those are done as well in the workplace, and where, like you said, it doesn't stop in high school, unfortunately. Bad language as well. Someone who's using bad language, not even towards someone, but it makes, the people around them uncomfortable. And more recently, cyberbullying as well. These happen, and it happens as well in the workplace, especially with the increase of hybrid working. More and more people are working from home. So this is happening where there's they're receiving, offensive emails, offensive text messages as well. It doesn't stop at the tools in the workplace. So it's about, as a manager, as professionals, as HR professionals, is recognizing those and understanding, okay, yeah, this is bullying now.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for that answer. And what we do like to say within the Family Resource Centers is three main aspects in which you talk to. The first one is it definitely involves a misuse of power. It's ongoing and repeated. So if it happens once, yes, that may be rude and that may be mean. And all individual incidences should also be taken very seriously.
Yes.
However, to be considered bullying, it has to be ongoing and repeated. And it also causes some form of harm. And it can be so many different ways, as you mentioned, the social bullying, excluding, verbal, physical. It can be even like the tone or the way that we present ourselves. If that is portrayed to the person as being harmful, then it would be considered bullying, right? So that was very, very informative. Thank you so much for that question. And we have another question again. Is what can professionals do in response to workplace bullying?
And that's very important and very important for everyone to know. Like you said, first thing first, take it seriously. It's not because you don't think it is, offensive to yourself that it's not offensive to someone. So take it seriously. Stay calm, listen carefully, and try to understand and put yourself in their shoes. And then consider whether it's something that can be resolved informally. So it might simply be, okay, the perpetrator apologizes. They don't, repeat the certain incident or behavior, or is it something that will then need to go into a formal complaint? And if that's the case, then it will need, to be filed, names, information on what has happened, name of witnesses who may have seen what happened, and then take it all the way until the matter is resolved.
And when we speak about roles as well, whose role is it to kind of counteract and combat workplace bullying? Is it the role of the HR professionals, the manager, or is it also within the individuals within the team?
It's everyone. So first, as an employer, what needs to happen is that the culture of the company needs to allow for the workplace to be free of bullying, where employees can be comfortable and where there's no harm done to anyone. So what needs to happen there is that policies need to be put in place, trainings need to be put in place, employees need to attend, and managers need to attend as well. They need to understand their role. Yes, it is the employers' responsibilities to have policies in place, ensure that everyone understands their role to play, but it's also the employees' responsibility to behave in a respectful manner. So they're responsible for their own action and behavior at the end of the day. So the employee needs to put in place tools for them. The manager needs to be there, to potentially facilitate or ensure that employees are attending trainings. But at the end of the day, it's also the employee's responsibility.
Okay, wonderful. And in terms of preventative strategies, I heard trainings as well as there being maybe an anti-bullying policy within the organization. Are there any other preventative measures that you would believe are well in place within the organization?
I think policies and trainings are definitely there. And it's not just the one-off. It needs to be repeated throughout anything that's done throughout the organization. So it's not just a matter of having the policy and the training and then we forget about bullying. We also need, managers need to be respectful. They need to understand their roles, and the workplace culture in general needs to be, free from harassment.
Okay, wonderful. So I have a little bit of a tricky question for you next, Ms. Ball, and it's the fact that many people in Cayman and internationally as well, they may refrain from reporting if they believe that they are being bullied by their supervisor. So if they are being bullied by their supervisor, how can an employee protect themselves and report this safety concern, which is bullying?
Yeah, and that's a good question. And, as much as we want to talk about bullying, there are some places that have, toxic environments where supervisors use their power in the wrongful manner. So I think to avoid this, the company's policy, and I'm going to repeat this one, but it needs to, ensure that they have the parameters and that they need to understand their role, and that they have a responsibility as a manager. And the policy as well needs to ensure that the employee's response or the employee, formally or informally submitting a complaint will not, harm them, impact them, affect them within their development or their career within the organization. And the policy needs to state that in order for them to feel comfortable, complaining. And again, the company's culture needs to allow the freedom to talk. I think the first thing first is if your culture allows for an open and honest, two-way conversation, employees as a first port of call should be able to, talk to their managers. If that's not possible, then they should be able to go to the next level. So it might be the head of department or whoever it is in that structure. And then if that doesn't work, then they should go to HR. And then the matter needs to be taken more seriously through a formal complaint.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to give you a quick break from all the questions as well, and I'll just speak to what the Family Resource Centre is doing in terms of our Stood Up campaign. So the Family Resource Centre, we celebrated our Stood Up Day on the 7th of October, where we wore our pink shirts and we took photos at the Government Administration Building. We were joined by His Excellency, the Governor, Miss World Cayman, our Deputy Governor, Franz Manderson, and many other important officials, just to show that the Cayman Islands government is recognizing that bullying is occurring in Cayman and internationally, and that we're going to be upstanders to bullying. So our theme this year is to get up and stay up. So to be an upstander for those that we may see being bullied. For example, if you're in the workplace and you see someone who is being bullied, maybe go and ask them if they're okay. Sit with them at lunchtime if you see any social exclusion, and just make sure that you really have your coworkers' backs as you would like them to have yours. On top of our Dress for a Cause Day, our T-shirts are on sale at the Family Resource Centre building, and you can get in contact with us through frc@gov.ky, or you can give us a call at 949-0006, and we'll be more than happy to arrange an order for you. I know many of the schools are also going to be participating in Pink Shirt Day, which is basically an initiative that we've been running in Cayman for many years now, and it's been going on 30 years within Canada, where it's really just showing that individuals within their setting, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in school, that they are standing up and they are being the change that they want to see, and they're saying, I'm saying no to bullying and calling out others. Obviously, when you're in a workplace, things can get a little bit tricky as you don't want to step on any toes, but just being able to be there for your coworkers and raise concerns when you do have them. We are also hosting a How to Bully Proof Your Child webinar on October 25th. So every Tuesday, last Tuesday of the month, we have our webinars, and this one will be focusing on how parents can support their children in making informed choices in their response to bullying, and how they can also support their children. So we highly, highly encourage, if you are a parent listening right now, that you sign up. It can be found on our social media channels, and also, again, using that same email address provided, which I'll repeat, which is frc@gov.ky. Again, you are joined by Kenzie. I'm a parent facilitator with Family Resource Centre, and Miss Ball. So if you don't mind, we can jump right back into the questions. How does that sound? Okay, wonderful. So the next question I have for you is, outside of bullying, are there often toxic workplace cultures or aggressive communication styles that are adopted and may be misinterpreted for bullying? Because I know you did speak a little bit earlier about that toxic workplace.
Yes, exactly. And again, it's about having those protective measures in place to ensure that toxic environments, toxic workplace doesn't become a thing. Aggressive communication styles, I'm sure everyone has got an example in mind of a manager who has, done that, behaved that way. So what's important here is to understand what bullying is and what bullying is not. So to understand what bullying is not is, so like we said, it needs to be repeated. So an isolated incident of behavior would not be deemed as bullying. It is harassment, though, so we can't forget that it is obviously something that shouldn't be accepted either, but we can't quite label it as bullying.
Right.
It's also not the exercise of legitimate management rights. So what I mean by that is any, performance reviews, providing feedback, potential disciplinary actions. Those are not bullying. These are just, a manager doing their work. So obviously the employee needs to understand that. Now, of course, if it's done in an aggressive manner or in a way that's repeated and unwelcome to the recipient, then we can definitely consider it as bullying. And it's also not the exercise of legitimate employee rights and responsibilities as well. So what needs to be differentiated here is that any objective developmental feedback, disciplinary actions, performance management, really those shouldn't be put in the same basket as bullying. Now, if there is, a workplace that's toxic, aggressive communication styles that are used, then the company culture needs to promote open and honest two-way feedback, provide the tools as well to employees and managers to provide that feedback, potentially in an anonymous way as well, so that they can raise those issues before they become a problem. And finally, the employees can go to HR to raise any specific issues. If this is something as well they want to talk to professionals about, the employee needs to to put in place, contacts for them to reach out to employee assistance programs, for example. I'm sure they can reach out to you guys as well. So all those that allow for that culture for the organization to have that culture of an open and free from harassment place.
Okay, wonderful. And just to speak on that note again, within the Department of Counseling Services, we do offer free counseling services with TCC, which is different from FRC in the sense that you can come in, and if you do have concerns, whether it is workplace bullying, you have someone you can talk to who is an outside party in a safe and trusted environment. And then again, we also have FRC if it's your child being bullied, and we could provide some support there.
Exactly, and I think as an employer, it's important to understand the role that you play here and putting in place the tools that they need. So having employee assistance program for health insurance as well, having that opportunity to go to therapy. So as part of the health insurance, providing that benefit as well. So all those things that will allow the employees to feel comfortable.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Ball, and thank you for sharing with us. We are just going to go for a quick break. Again, you are on Family Resource Center's radio show, Rethink Parenting, and you are here with Kenzie Wright as well as Miss Valentine Ball.
The Family Resource Center invite you to join us on Bobo 89.1 FM for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting, where we share practical and positive parenting information to support happy, healthy family life. We'll share how to handle day-to-day issues. We'll address common challenges with parenting, such as how to manage misbehavior, supporting our teens through growing up, managing co-parenting dynamics, and how to take care of ourselves and manage our own stressors. Family Resource Center, committed to building people, building families. Tune in on Bobo 89.1 FM. Find us at frc.gov.ky or call us on 949-0006. Submit your questions and concerns regarding parenting to us, and we'll share them on air. Join us for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting.
And welcome back to Rethink Parenting. This is the Family Resource Center radio show on Bobo FM, and you are joined by Kenzie Wright. I am a parent practitioner at the Family Resource Center, and I have Ms. Valentine Ball with me today. And she's a junior associate director. She works within the field of human resources, and today we'll be talking about workplace bullying. So as we've talked about before, we talked about some trainings that maybe some staff can partake in, as well as managers. And I just wanted to elaborate that on a little bit more with you. And my question is for you is what can leaders do to upskill themselves or train their staff as a preventative factor to workplace bullying?
Yeah. And I think, so talking about trainings, so leaders can definitely upskill themselves, but the employer, the company needs to be to put in place those trainings and those tools necessary for them to have those conversations. So trainings like dignity and respect, for example, and they need to be in line with the policies. So a bullying policy or dignity and respect policy needs to be put in place within organizations. And that will give, employees, managers, the parameters and understand what their roles and responsibilities are within the organization. Leaders and managers can also undertake coaching. This is definitely something that is upcoming, and whether it's external with an external provider coaching, or even coaching internally with other leaders and understanding what are their practices? Are there anything that they can change as well in the way that they're managing their team? Understanding as well what are the values of the organization, and be in line with those. Obviously, the company needs to have put in place values that are connected to a workplace that's free from harassment, bullying. That where employees can be comfortable and be themselves at work as well.
And I think it's so important when you say as well, setting those values that drive the organization forward, is it's not handed down and saying these are our values. It needs to come through the whole body of the organization and stand up together and say, we don't stand for bullying in this organization. We value empathy. We value the ability to come forward and speak your mind in a respectful way, of course. So I believe that would be a great way, and just to instill values is to have the whole organization from the bottom up to kind of say, I think this is important. And then it gives them time to also share their experience and areas of improvement. So I think that would be fantastic moving forward. And my next question for you, Ms. Ball, is it valuable for every organization to have a bullying policy in place?
It absolutely. It is a must. In my opinion, the policy really needs to be there to ensure that everyone has the right understanding. The policy, though, needs to be in line with the overall culture, though. Mm-hmm. So it has to have some understanding there that all the things that we said, what bullying is, what it is not, what is dignity and respect, what behaviors are expected, and also what we were saying earlier around the fact that whoever raises any concerns or issues, these will not impact or affect their development, their growth within the organization. And unless it is in the policy, employees will never feel comfortable raising anything. So it really needs to be in place. So as HR professionals, if whether we are in a small organization of maybe 5 to 10 employees, or whether we're working for an organization of 200, 300 plus, if we see that there is no policy around that, this is definitely something that needs to be worked on. As HR professionals, if you haven't got one, this is something that you can put in place, and you can easily find templates, whether you're a member, for example, of CIPD or SHRM, which is the American version. It's important to find a template that has the must-have, and then use that template and make it your own for your organization, and understand where you can really create that culture for yourself. You can also reach out, if you're unsure where to start as HR professionals, you can also reach out to more local societies. So we've got the Cayman Islands HR Society, and there's a great network here where we can start talking about, okay, what should be in the policy, what we need to add, what are the parameters, what is the manager responsibility, what is the employee responsibility, and ensure that that it is there. And you can also reach out to you guys as well as the Family Resource Center and understand what should be there within the policy.
Okay, wonderful. And as I was mentioning above, we are having our Pink Day T-shirts, and this is a great way to show that your organization does not value bullying, that you guys are standing up to bullying, and you're saying this cannot happen here. We value each other within the organization. Each member of the team is just as important as one another. And if you would like to show that within your organization that this is something you want to support, again, we highly encourage you reach out to the Family Resource Center. So I know from a psychological standpoint that when bullying is happening within the workplace, it has many negative effects on the employees. For example, they may be taking more sick days, or maybe coming in a little bit later, or their performance is actually declining as work is no longer a place that they want to be, as it's no longer a safe environment.
Absolutely.
And it can also really impact their mental health. So when they go home, it carries on into their family life. And then we want to make sure that if you are being bullied, that you are able to speak up and say something and defend yourself, and really use assertive communication in the sense that you are protecting yourself and you are also modeling this for other employees as well as with your children. So say that you are coming home and you are speaking about bullying. You can even role play with your children and say, you know, at work I was being bullied and this is what I said. And this is a really good opportunity for your children to be like, wow, my mommy or daddy were able to do this. Maybe I'll be able to do the same thing. So my question is for you, what role, I know we already spoke about it a little bit, but what role does each individual member within an organization have to ensure that their workplace is a safe environment that is free from bullying?
And exactly to your point, I think it's important for employees as well to recognize if, you know, someone is being bullied. As managers as well, it's important to observe the team and see if there's, you know, anything going on that is outside of the usual. For example, an increase in sickness days. Well, it might be something else behind that. So it's important to sit down with them and understanding and do a check-in on, physical health, but mental health as well. World Mental Health Day is just a day, but it's not. It's every day. So we really need to have those conversations and feel comfortable having those conversations between managers and employees or peer-to-peer as well. So, you know, observing, seeing those those things happening and understanding, okay, maybe I should have a conversation. And to add to your point, you know, there are a lot of consequences to bullying, mental health issues, increase in sickness days, and potentially employees leaving the organizations because they just cannot deal with this anymore, and they don't feel comfortable talking about it. As an organization as well, it's important that we realize those before they become a bigger problem, and we have preventative measure because, you know, otherwise the cycle will just start again. We'll just hire someone new, and the same thing will happen again with the toxic environment. So recognizing those, you know, change in shifts, understanding those, asking questions, not just the simple, how are you today? I'm fine. Okay, move on. No, really understanding, okay, what's going on with this person. And you know, if it's outside of your comfort zone and, you know, you can see there is something going on, it might be simply directing the employee to employee assistance program, family resource center. Like you said, it's free for anyone to come in and have counseling. So even as an organization, if you don't offer EAP, you can still direct to those organizations. It might be as well that you have internal mental health first aiders. It's a training that's now available for you know, any professionals to take on, whether you're in HR or not. You don't need to be in psychology or human resources to take on those trainings anymore. So having mental health first aiders so that anyone can, you know, go to someone and talk about those without having to either go to their manager, line manager, or HR because they might not feel comfortable doing so.
Okay, wonderful. So for a quick break from Ms. Ball, because we've been asking her many questions and she's providing us with such informative and valuable answers, so thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We are just going to speak about our Stud Up campaign again, which is occurring within the Family Resource Center. So we are actually going to the schools and we are doing trainings to teach the peer mentors. So those, maybe it will be the prefects or the house leaders or those who are really an example for other students, whether it be the older year sixes or even the high schools. We'll be going to the high school tomorrow to teach them how they can be upstanders to bullying, how they can show other people that they've gotten their back, how they can get up and stay up, as that is our slogan of our Stud Up campaign this year. And we're really just going out there and teaching them that there are many different parties within bullying. It's not just the victim and the bully. There's also those who are assisting the bully. It's also those who are, you know, on from the sidelines and not saying anything at all, or those who are cheering on the bully as well. So there are many different roles when we look at bullying, and each person can be involved in a situation. So I highly encourage you, if you know that bullying is going on in your workplace, that you reach out to that coworker, or if you are bullied yourself, that you can come up with a plan. And if someone is saying something to you, for an example, and it's ongoing and it's intentional and it is causing you harm, but for maybe them it's just a joke, it's really important that you say, hey, I actually really don't like that. I would prefer if you did not call me by that name, or did not say that, or not speak about so-and-so within a group setting. So really being able to set your boundaries, and if you see that they continue to break them, then you definitely bring it higher again to make sure that you yourself are standing up for yourself while standing up for bullying. I'll make mention for those who are just joining us, we are having our How to Bully Proof Your Child webinar, which is happening on the 25th of October at 6 p.m. It will be online, and we highly encourage you to sign up if you are wondering how to make informed choices about your response of how you can respond to bullying with your children, or how you can support your children who are being bullied, and really encourage them to be upstanders as well. So if you are interested in that, please reach out to the Family Resource Center, or you can find the link in our social media challenges. We also have many, many other exciting things going on, and I haven't mentioned this one as of yet. We will be running a STEM Girls Camp. We ran this for our Honoring Women's campaign, and it was such a fantastic event, and we got to see so many different girls within the community come together, and they're from many different backgrounds, and work together to create something. And it was actually a robot. They created a robot just by themselves.
That's amazing.
It was really cool. So they really loved it, and we love to see the collaboration that happened. So we will be running it again. It will be at the National Gallery, and we highly encourage you to sign up. It's going to be again on our social media platforms. You can find the Google Doc in order to sign up, and it's going to be an interactive camp where they already built the robot. So if you haven't attended the first one, your child can attend the second one, where they're going to be doing robot building challenges, but they're also going to be doing games with the robot and learning how to maneuver the robots, and just really get their feet wet within something that's very, very much so STEM related. We're also going to have a keynote speaker, which is Dr. Anne-Marie Infibdon. I may not be saying the name right. However, she is a presenter and the co-founder of STEMatics. This is an award-winning social enterprise that inspires the next generation of females to really, be bold and stand up and decide that, yes, I would like to get involved in STEM roles, such as science, technology, engineering, mathematics, something that was typically and in the past reserved for boys. We really want to encourage our girls, something that wants something different, because again, with our startup campaign, we want to embrace differences. We want to go off the beaten path and encourage those who do. So we are going to go for a quick break, and then we will be right back.
The Family Resource Center invite you to join us on Bobo 89.1 FM for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting, where we share practical and positive parenting information to support happy, healthy family life. We'll share how to handle day-to-day issues. We'll address common challenges with parenting, such as how to manage misbehavior, supporting our teens through growing up, managing co-parenting dynamics, and how to take care of ourselves and manage our own stressors. Family Resource Center, committed to building people, building families. Tune in on Bobo 89.1 FM. Find us at frc.gov.ky or call us on 949-0006. Submit your questions and concerns regarding parenting to us, and we'll share them on air. Join us for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting.
Welcome back, and for those who are just joining us, welcome. Welcome to the Rethink Parenting radio show. This is put on by the Family Resource Center with Bobo FM. And my name is Kenzie Wright, and I am a parent practitioner within the Family Resource Center, which is within the Department of Counseling Services with the Cayman Islands government. And I am very fortunate to be joined by Miss Valentine Ball today. If you are just joining us, I will reintroduce her. She is a junior associate director, and she works within human resources. And she's also a member of the Cayman Islands Society of HR Professionals. And she's here today sharing her knowledge on workplace bullying and what HR professionals and also those who are within a team can do to stand up to bullying. So my next question for you, Ms. Ball, is let me provide you with an example. Say that I am starting a new job, And I'm so very, very excited to be starting this new job. And then I get there and I realize one of my old friends in which I grew up with is there. And I used to have a nickname. They used to call me Dinky all the time. And now I don't want to be called Dinky whatsoever. And they keep calling me Dinky. And for me, it's now ongoing. And for me, I really don't like it. What can I do as an employee? What's the first step that I should follow?
Exactly. Okay. So it's a great example, and it happens more often than you think in the workplace. And yes, it sounds like something you would do in high school, but it also happens in the workplace. So we need to understand, first of all, what bullying is, and like we said at the start, it's something that is unwelcome to the recipient. So someone else might not understand why it's something that's bothering them, because to them it's just a joke. But actually, because it is unwelcome to them, it makes them uncomfortable. It's not funny. So this is when it becomes bullying. And if it's repeated and, it's humiliating to them, it might be in front of their colleagues that are brand new colleagues as well. They might not want to have, a reputation that they don't deserve. So the first thing that they need to do is, if they can, speak up and talk to this person. The individual has the right to know what they've done wrong. They have the right to apologize and close out the matter. So speak up. Tell them, this is not something I'm comfortable with. It's making me feel humiliated. I don't want to be called that name. I think it's not really funny to me. I'd like to ask you to stop. As the perpetrator or the person who's making the joke, first thing first, taking it seriously and not as a joke is really important. Staying calm, listening to the reasoning behind why it's making them uncomfortable. It's really important. And it might be that the matter gets closed like this informally. They both agree, okay, this was not funny, we can close out. Now if the perpetrator continues doing that, they didn't really apologize, they did not take it seriously, then as the new employee, the first thing that they can do is doing some research on, okay, what is the formal process for a complaint. Who can I speak to? Can I go speak to my manager? What is the process behind that? If available, attend a training on dignity and respect. It's often done at the start within the first month. So understanding what can be done. So it might be that they speak to their manager. Their manager might also think that it's a joke, and they might kind of brush it off, and it can happen. That wouldn't be what's expected of a manager, but that can happen. So then what they can do is try the next up in line. So head of that department, for example, explain the situation, explain how it's making them feel uncomfortable. If again that doesn't work, put in a formal complaint, taking it to their human resources department, potentially finding witnesses who were there while they were being made fun of, and putting a case together, and then it will go into a formal complaint, and the formal procedure will be taking place. If at some point they decide they don't want to go any further, they've actually backtracked. Actually, as HR professionals, we still need to go over the full process, because they might want to backtrack, but actually there's something wrong there. So we want to understand, okay, is there something that needs to be done? And if disciplinary actions need to be taken, then that's what will be done. So as employee, we shouldn't be taking things that we shouldn't be taking it upon ourselves to just feel uncomfortable and not wanting to come into work. We were saying earlier, the consequences of bullying, it can create mental health illnesses, It can create depression. It can mean that that person will leave the organization even after 2-3 weeks because they're being bullied or being harassed by their coworkers. So everyone needs to take it seriously. And even if we're talking about a joke, as long as it makes the recipient uncomfortable, then it needs to be taken seriously.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. That was a very informative answer, and I'm sure that I appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners do as well. So my last question for you, Ms. Ball, is you did speak about trainings that can upskill and empower both managers, HR professionals, as well as employees within the workforce. Are there any trainings that are available on Island that employers may be able to reach out to?
Yeah, so employers and especially HR professionals can attend our HR trainings. So HR 101 basically will give you the guidelines and the basis that you need as HR professionals. And then it's up to the HR professionals to put in place those trainings internally within the workplace. Additionally, as an organization, there are workshops that you can put in place with employee assistance program. So what they will do is they will either do virtual workshops or in-person workshop. They will come into your workplace and do a training on the topic that you feel your employees need most. So if it is bullying, they will do something on bullying and what can be done. So as HR professionals, this is something that you can put in place fairly easily. And then there are some websites as well. You can go on to, for example, the SHRM websites where you may find some policies or guidelines on what is expected as HR professionals. And you can then put in place for your employees and managers. And then networking, understanding, what's being done in other workplace, whether it's for human resources professionals or staff as well, understanding, by speaking with others, is this something that's happening as well within your workplace? Because this is happening where I work. I don't think this is normal. And what do you think I should do? So understanding what should be the line there, where we should draw the line.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Ball. You provided such wonderful answers and such valuable information for both myself and our listeners. So before you go, listeners, I would like to share some exciting events that I've shared already, but I'll just touch on them again. We have our Stud Up Month this month, so we're going to have our Pink Shirt Days. You are more than welcome to come to the Family Resource Center or send us an email and give us a call. We are frc@gov.ky or 949-0006 to order your pink shirts to show that your workplace is standing up for bullying. We're also hosting the How to Bully Proof Your Child webinar on October 25th at 6 p.m. This is online, and you can register again with the same information, or you can find the link on our social media channels. We also have our STEM Girls Camp. It's back, and it'll be held on Saturday 29th. This is a really wonderful event. It'll be going on from 9 to 3 p.m. And it'll be at the National Gallery. If you are interested in signing up your daughter, your granddaughter, or a family friend, we really highly encourage you to do so. And again, this can be found on our social medias. So we thank you so much, and we hope this information has benefited you and your family. We encourage you to join us every single Tuesday, same place, same time. We will be on at 1 to 2 p.m. on Bobo FM, and we'll be sharing some information. This one was focused on workplace bullying. However, the other weeks will be focused on parenting skills, so you can add additional parenting tools to your parenting toolbox. And it's been a joy being with you today. And we also have many, many programs that we offer with the Family Resource Center. For example, we offer a Triple P Standard, which is a group focusing on positive discipline, positive parenting strategies. We also have a co-parenting course called Family Transitions for those who are making the transition from being a two-parent household to a one-parent household. We have SNAP clinical program, which is for young boys who are exhibiting some behavioral challenges. We have the Young Parent program for young ladies who are expecting or have young children. And we have Legal Befrienders, which occurs every single Tuesday at 5:30 within the Family Resource Center headquarters, where you can come and you can seek out some free legal advice by some partners that we have within the community. And we have many, many different workshops, for example, how to bully-proof your child, and we also have the ADHD workshop going on right now. So if you are interested in any of our free services, we highly encourage you, again, to reach out to frc@gov.ky or 949-006. And we thank you so much for joining us, and we highly encourage you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for our latest news and information. So thank you very much, and this has been Kenzie Wright, Family Resource Center, and Ms. Valentine Ball.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today. I think it's really, really such an important topic, and I'm really happy we got to chat about this today. And hopefully, HR professionals as well as employees and staff members have all the tools and the guidance they need from today's session. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you again, Ms. Ball, and thank you, Bobo FM.
The Family Resource Center invite you to join us on Bobo 89.1 FM for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting, where we share practical and positive parenting information to support happy, healthy family life. We'll share how to handle day-to-day issues. We'll address common challenges with parenting, such as how to manage misbehavior, supporting our teens through growing up, managing co-parenting dynamics, and how to take care of ourselves and manage our own stressors. Family Resource Center, committed to building people, building families. Tune in on Bobo 89.1 FM. Find us at frc.gov.ky or call us on 949-0006. Submit your questions and concerns regarding parenting to us, and we'll share them on air. Join us for our weekly show called Rethink Parenting.